Here at MND Queensland, we're always striving to find ways that we can further support people impacted by motor neurone disease. A new service that we introduced in 2021 was Australia's first MND-specific speech pathology service, which has been well embraced by our clients. Expanding on this service, we are now excited to let you know that we've introduced a voice banking clinic to further benefit people with an MND diagnosis who are at risk of losing the ability to speak.
MND Queensland's speech pathology service was introduced in 2021 to provide professional advice and support to people with an MND diagnosis. I work with people who have MND and their families to maximize communication and ensure safe swallowing while eating and drinking so that a person with MND can continue to enjoy participating in activities of daily living and improve and maintain independence and quality of life. Deterioration of speech is one of the most devastating aspects of MND and is likely to negatively impact the psychosocial well-being and quality of life of a person with MND. However, people with MND can preserve their voice and in turn their identity through voice banking. Voice banking, the process of creating a personalized synthetic voice that mimics a person's natural voice, is completed prior to deterioration of speech. The synthesized voice can then be used to communicate thoughts, wants, and needs on one or more alternative and/or augmentative communication devices, such as an eye gaze device, tablet, phone, or a neuronode trilogy, should you lose the ability to speak. This high-tech advancement in communication can be completed easily by an individual, or it can be done with the assistance of myself or their own speech pathologist. You can think of it as a kind of communication insurance. Some challenges associated with voice banking include difficulties downloading and using the voice banking software and/or accessing the required equipment to complete the voice banking process. However, with the MND Queensland Voice Banking Clinic, people with MND do not have to deal with these challenges, as the service to record your voice is free to our members.
Hi, I'm Carl Webb, former Origin representative and Broncos and Cowboys player, and have recently been diagnosed with MND. Learning that you have MND is one of the worst things that you can hear or imagine. To know that I might lose the ability to speak is really scary and sad, but I get some comfort out of knowing that if I can't speak anymore, I'll be able to use my own voice and technology to continue to communicate. I've been going through the process of voice banking myself in case I lose the ability to speak. So with technology, I'll still be able to speak to my kids, friends, family, instead of sounding like a computerized voice. I'll be able to sound like myself when I'm talking. When people lose so much to MND, it gives me some comfort to know that I'll still get to sound like myself and hang on to parts of myself as my MND progresses. If you also have been diagnosed with MND, I encourage you to get in to investigate voice banking and get in touch with your MND Queensland.
So what's going to happen is you're going to hear a voice and it's going to read out the sentence for you, and then it's going to count down backwards from 3, and then you're going to record it. And what we can do is we can check how your voice sounds. If you're not happy with it, we can re-record. If you're happy with it, we'll move on to the next phrase. And if you feel like you stumble or make a mistake, we can actually re-record. So it's really easy that way. Okay?
Great Lakes disclosed the plan in December.
Approximately 30% of people with MND will present with communication and/or swallowing difficulties as an initial symptom of the disease. However, the majority of people with MND will experience impaired speech and swallowing at some point throughout the disease progression. Therefore, if you've been diagnosed with MND, it is advised that you engage with the speech pathologist as soon as possible after your diagnosis, so timely and relevant management can be provided. Early speech pathology assessment allows for your speech pathologist to monitor the progression of speech and swallowing difficulties. Moreover, early access to speech pathology management includes, but is not limited to, education, voice banking, and behavioral strategies such as pacing, adjustment of food and fluid consistencies, swallowing strategies, and exercises such as expiratory muscle strength training. Early completion of voice banking allows for production of a quality synthesized voice. While people with MND can voice bank with a mild speech impairment, the process can be much more laborious and time-consuming. Furthermore, the synthesized voice will sound like the impaired speech of the person with MND.
Hello, my name is Jo, and I have MND. I was diagnosed with multiple MND in October 2019. It affected my ability to talk almost right away. I hadn't heard of voice banking until recently, but if I had the chance to do it, I would have done it right away, so that I could still sound like the old me and hang on to my voice, which is part of my personality that MND couldn't take it away from me. I encourage you to get in touch with MND Queensland as soon as you're diagnosed and take advantage of this great service. Thank you.
We're proud to have introduced Australia's first MND-specific speech pathology service and now our voice banking clinic. Both services will be of great benefit for Queenslanders living with MND. Our voice banking clinic has been made possible through the generosity of our donors, and we thank you all for your kind support of people living with motor neurone disease. Along with our speech pathology service and voice banking clinic, MND Queensland also offers a range of other services for Queenslanders impacted by MND, such as NDIS support coordination, occupational therapy, and our equipment hire service. And if you'd like to learn more about any of our services, I encourage you to get in touch with us by giving us a call, sending an email, or visiting our website.